Okay, so what 10 altcoins would I personally buy if I was given the task of turning them into $1 million? Now, of course, to make $1 million, you have to start somewhere. So we're looking at a few different portfolio sizes in this video. I'm not just going to try to 10x 100 grand. I'm not just going to try to 40x 25 grand. We're going to look at a few different instances here because you might sit into a different category from someone else. And the most important thing you have to understand, you won't hear this anywhere else, guys. I'm being serious about this. You have to understand risk when it comes to creating a portfolio. You may be like, ugh, boring. Give me the 10 altcoins and shut up. Okay, I kind of get that, right? But you do have to please pay attention to this part. This is only going to benefit you, and the time to explain this is probably going to be about less than 5 minutes, if that at all, okay? So there's 3 things you have to assess when it comes to risk. Number 1 is the narrative, so diversification, your multiples, and your market cap. So starting at the narrative, this is the beauty of the Bullrun cheat sheet, guys. Of course, first link down below. Join the private community. Level 1 and above has access to this sheet. You will be able to have not just this, but all the different benefits down below, and we add something new every month. What you can go ahead and do is actually have a look at what I rank each narrative in crypto. This is important because if you spend all your money and time investing in like a really poor performing narrative or area like niche, for example, let's just say payments or Web 2 layer 1 projects, well, then that might not perform well. And you're wondering why everyone else is making money on altcoins and AI, DePIN, gaming, modularity, ZKPs. And you're going, how? Well, this sheet will explain it all to you. I've also got explanations on each of these. For example, obviously on the top 9 and 10 ranking narratives, they're all going to do pretty well. And as you go down, I explain how you can actually pick out the top performing coins in each week narrative. So you want to be diverse. So in each of these portfolios, what I've done for you all is I've broken up each of these coins into different areas, into the strong areas, so we can benefit from diversification plus also high-ranking narratives as well. Also on this Bullrun cheat sheet, you will find this tab, the risk and reward tolerance tables. This is so crucial. To give you the rundown, basically, you have 2 different types of risks in the same sort of area. You have the multiples risk, which is this over here. Of course, the more multiples you chase, the riskier that position becomes, no matter how big the market cap is. You could buy Bitcoin, very safe coin inherently. However, if you look for a 30x with Bitcoin, no matter how safe the asset may be, all right, you end up coming up, reading up this list at 60% risk. So you're trying to reduce the amount of risk you possibly can on the multiples, but also on the other side of this table, we also have the risk and reward for the market cap size as well. This is probably even more important for you, okay? Now, each coin is ranked within a size of a market cap. Now, market cap for the most part in crypto is nonsense. It's BS. It's more psychological than anything, and that's a whole different story for another day. But what you're looking at here is the coins that will fit your personal risk profile. Now, what I've gone ahead and say, and the rule of thumb here is, like I mentioned here, if you are someone who thinks to yourself, okay, I've invested $100,000, there's no way I can lose 50 grand if my wife or my husband will literally kill me. That means that you have a 50% risk profile, which means you can only afford to lose how much that actually is, and that means picking yellow and red coins. Now, yellow and red coins obviously are more risky, but that comes along with more multiples generally as well, or more potential multiples. Again, the risk factor being here is kind of like a slot machine. You might pull 10 different coins, you might come out on top with 1 or 2 of them, and the rest might fail. So that's risky, of course. Now, the money that you can't lose, right, that percentage that you're like, no way, I can't lose this money, that's when you'll fall into the green categories, right? And this is, again, broken up in terms of the market cap size. So as you can see here, dark green is 25 billion plus. Light green is 1 billion to 25 billion. This pretty much is almost the top 100 coins at this point in time, a little bit less. 100 million to 1 billion is your mid-risk, high reward. So you come with a little bit of risk, but also higher reward. This tends to be the sweet spot for most people. And then red, of course, is high risk, extremely high reward. So you're getting a high multiple potential here. So in this case, usually what I tell people to do is have a nice mixture, right? You can sort of have a nice mixture of sort of guaranteed returns, of course, so long as you aren't, trying to expect some of these higher multiples on those coins, because that will add risk, like I just said. Also, you do want to have a nice mixture in that sense then of offset some of the gains you might lose with the higher risk coins. So This is where you can kind of look at a sheet like this and begin picking and plotting at how you plan to do it. Now, I've said time and time again, portfolios are simply ways to gamify crypto. It's literally gamification, or it's literally you like playing a puzzle with yourself with, unfortunately, real money, real consequences. So the reason why I introduce any of the risk is because the way I've broken up a few of these portfolios here, the different, starting capital sizes, is to illustrate to you how we want to leverage risk, why we want to mix some of these high cap projects to be safer, less multiples as guaranteed returns, and then use some of the mid-risk and high-risk coins to then get more multiples back. But this is a nice duality, because if you went smack bang right in the middle and just look for the multiples, let's say with a $10,000 portfolio, you just want to simply 100x, rather than just looking for 100x coins, you might look for some coins that might 50x and some that might 110x or whatever it may be. So this nice little duality. Again, that's allowing you to be somewhat safe. But of course, there is no such thing as a safe 100x portfolio. Doesn't exist. So let's begin life over here looking at the first portfolio, which is $100,000, because this is the easiest. It's a simple 10x. And from these prices, all of these portfolios today are from today's prices. Today is the 10th of July, 2024. If you watch this in the next week, this might change. But what I'm going to give you on each of these coins, you can see here with the render, is not today's price, but the price I would sell at on average for each of these coins to achieve the goal. So at least you know, okay, well, if the price goes up to $9, render's moved away from a potential 10x, like this portfolio needs it to be, and now it's at 8x. So I might look for more, a higher sell price, basically. So we're getting 100 grand turning into $1 million at today's prices. I think that's reasonable. I think a lot of these coins I'm about to mention to you can do a lot more than even a 10x. Again, however, just keep in mind the fact that nothing is guaranteed in crypto, non-financial advice, right? So render being $70, ICP coincidentally $70 as well. So do the math, right? That means the current price of render is $7, current price of ICP is $7 as well. Nia's price actually is a little bit under $5, about $4.80, so that's a very easy 10x in my opinion. Wormhole, I think 3, IMX 13, HBAR 67 cents, and Ondo $9.60. So in my opinion, you guys may disagree, I don't really mind at all, leveraging the price prediction sheet, which is also in this. Again, we don't just have these things as well. We have calculators. I'm not going to open the price prediction sheet because that will allow you to screenshot and then take all the price predictions, and that changes every day. So built on data, no one's personal opinions. And so these predictions were kind of in line with what the data says, just data, and what I personally think based on more of a fundamental approach. I try to leave my subjective thoughts out the window and try to say, okay, this is the narrative it's in, blah, blah, blah. This is how I think it'll do. And these all fit well and truly perfect in both my personal multiple goals and also the goals of the data sheet, okay? So yeah, very, very confident in this. Again, not everyone has 100 grand right now sitting around to just throw in the market, but I think you have to understand, guys, if you are someone looking to inject some capital, or if you are someone looking for maybe some confirmation bias, this is what I would pick. Personally speaking, we have AI deep in Web3, Web3 AI deep in interoperability over here. We have gaming and also layer 2. We have Web 2 layer 1 and also real world asset, and we have real world asset. So we have a nice mixture of all the top ranking and narratives. As you can see here, we do miss out on a couple of them, but that's just, of course, part of the game. So moving on now, what would I buy if I had $50,000 looking for a 20x? Okay, so basically half this. Now, again, I think a 20x is definitely reasonable with some of these coins, which is why you will see I've moved some of these coins down and look for a little bit more multiples with them. Inherently, again, the more multiples you try to chase, simply the more risky it will become. We've gone from a 10x, which is 30% risk, now looking for, a 20% risk, now looking for a 15x, which is 30% risk. So some of you might argue, 10% risk, who really cares? No, it all adds up. It definitely all adds up. So we haven't changed the market cap size. These are the same coins, low risk, mid reward, okay? But we've increased the multiples we want from them, so that does come with more risk. So render is $105, ICP is $105, wormhole is $450. Now, why have I chosen these? AI Deepin is by far going to be the best narrative of the bull run. ICP has decentralized completely front-end and back-end AI, and also wormhole is interoperability, which actually, if you have a look at the other coins on this list, is what we're missing on this list. And I actually think that interoperability will be a big part of the bull run, which is why I still believe it's in a 10. And we've seen Wormhole gain a lot of strength recently, right? Wormhole went from about, I think it was like 45 cents, 38 cents, and it jumped up to like 89 cents, almost 90 cents, I believe, when the market was quite bearish, when sentiment wasn't actually positive. And that gave me a lot of strength, strength in the moment, going, okay, this is going to be a good coin. People have faith in it. And then, of course, the market truly tanked, and here we are. So I think looking for a 15x on Wormhole, ICP, and Render is possible. Again, you add more risk, but I do think these coins can do a lot more than that. And the longer the bull run does go on, guys, the better it becomes for these coins. The more strength, in my opinion, they will gain, because they are in the best performing narratives. Next up, to substitute IMX for gaming, we have Beam. We also have another player in the DePIN AI, but more so now proof of work space. Kind of a competitor over there to ICP is Flux Network. This one, as you all know, I think can do really, really well. Probably a lot more than a 25x. Given the right circumstances. We now substitute Ondo with Goldfinch, okay, looking for a 25x, and Pith Network, 750, okay? Now, you will actually notice that theoretically, Pith actually technically falls into the green category, but it's up and down about $1 billion market cap. So I'm going to put it in yellow for now, and because I do think it can do more multiples than what it's currently like, it's a green cap, it might do less multiples, right? So either way, I think they'll do very, very well. And this is a solid portfolio for a 20x in my opinion, okay? Because you have more yellow here. You actually have more multiples in this sheet. So you'll actually do more than a 20x. You will slightly outperform that, which is actually a good thing, because what you can actually do then is look at the higher market cap coins like Render, ICP, and Wormhole. And then rather than having these higher prices, you can slightly reduce them to be a little bit safer, because again, you kind of want to use these coins as your safety net. You want to use these coins as like, at least I'll make some money. Get all the money I've put back in and then make some if shit hits the fan, all right? So these coins here have a higher risk, not of failing, because I think they're all great coins, but necessarily hitting their targets. That's one thing you have to remember. You might be in some of the best coins the market's ever seen, maybe has seen. You could literally be in Bitcoin, okay? But if you're looking for $1 million Bitcoin, it's not going to happen. Sorry to burst your bubble, this bull run, all right? So you have to understand, just as important as picking the right coin is getting a good entry. This is why I'm making this video now. And also I'm giving these price predictions because I think they're definitely possible with these coins. Non-financial advice, okay? None of this is financial advice, as you know, all right? So what about now a $25,000 portfolio? Well, this is a 40x. So we've gone from a 10x to a 20x and halving again to a 40x, all right? It's crazy stuff. 40x, as you all should hopefully know by now, is nothing you want to scoff at, because you're now in the dancing with the devil, right? Literally, like you're literally in an area where everything can and probably could go wrong. So I really encourage people not to look for high multiples. And speaking from someone who's had to go through a bull run and have it all, could have changed my life. Admittedly, it wasn't millions. It was a couple $100,000, I think at most, if that, right? But as a 21-year-old, it would have changed my life forever, and then vanishing because I let greed kick in. This is where you start approaching from here, even at these cheap prices. So what are the coins? Well, I'm going to carry through some of the coins on the previous one, but now we don't see any sense in bringing across the low risk, low reward coins, those green tier coins, because that will really weigh down our average multiple count. We need as many multiples as possible in the safest way, I guess we can, right? So Flux, obviously we want to keep this. Beam and Goldfinch are actually bringing across a few of the ones from over here, okay? Again, this hits AI, DePIN, gaming, also proof of work, and real-world assets, okay? We're looking for more multiples. We're looking for a 35x now, so 17.50, 53 cents, 77. I think these can hit. Yes, these are on the high side. These are on the high side. Do not look at this and go to yourself, if you already have a portfolio, by the way, this is for those of them who want this, and again, non-financially, right? But don't look at this and go, oh, well, he made a video on this, I might go for it. What did I just say before? You add so much risk to the table where literally the tablecloth can get pulled out underneath you and you're like, oh, I should have just taken Flux at 12.50. Should have taken Flux at a 25x. So just keep this in mind. This is for the psychopaths that, like I said before with the whole risk and reward side of thing, are literally happy to lose it all because we're looking at yellow and red. This is like, hey, honey, I'm happy to lose all of our money in this market, what we're dealing with here. Let alone, we're down the 35x area, so it's 70% risk. So 100% risk plus 70% risk equals off the charts risk, okay? So now we have 4 coins over here that I actually think are fantastic micro caps. These are high risk, extremely high reward coins. They can do more than a 45x. Spectral, this is AI. DAI, of course, is AI. AS is pretty much AI and DPIN. You should check these coins out, by the way. I might even make reviews on these videos. And IXX is a real-world asset as well, so it doubles up with Goldfinch. And it's also a DEX, so DeFi as well. Very interesting coin, this one as well. I actually really like all three of these. Or four of these, should I say. I love Spectral. I've made a video on this already. But if you guys want to ask, kind of, what's your favorite out of all four of these, I will say Spectral and AS for sure. IXS and DI, they do come in a close tied second, but that's my subjective opinion. So 45x, these are the prices we'll be looking to get out of these coins. So obviously, much higher than before. I showed you these three, of course. Beam is like borderline max price prediction, in my opinion. So that's what I'm a little bit contingent of. I think Flux and Goldfinch are more realistic. Beam could go to this thing, but it will have to be a strong bull run for gaming. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Goldfinch and Flux are more confident in. And so again, these four, Spectral, $225, currently around $5. DAI $9. AS is $2,400, currently about $50, and IXS is I think around 50 cents right now, so $22.50. And again, like guys, we're dealing with projects here that are single million market cap, 7 million, 14 million, 22 million, tiny coins, but they're in the right narratives, they're in the right areas, and that's why I've picked them. Okay, the highest risk possible, but it all comes back down to where they're situated. And a part of my Pumpermentals plan also talks about the meme. These have good, unique meme aspects, the uniqueness, the unique selling point. Is it easy for people to understand? Yes, my 2 cents. Now you might be asking yourself, Karen, we've gone from 100K, half to 50, half to 25. You're going to halve again and go roughly about 12.5 or 10K. Well, actually, I was going to put in 10K because I know more viewers would likely have 10K or want to invest 10K extra to put in the coins. But here's the thing. I quickly realized while I was making that I could pick any 10 coins, okay, and give them to you and say, these will 100x, all right? I don't think these 4 coins here would be candidates for that, personally speaking. I mean, they might, but I personally wouldn't pick them as candidates. We're dealing with a whole new ballgame. I mean, these coins haven't even 50x. So we're dealing with over double of what we just had there. And that gets into territory where I would feel disingenuous. I would feel not talking out of my ass, but talking, it's almost like at that point, the risk is so high, a coin could have it all. And because it's such a low market cap, anything could happen. It could go to zero. And again, you are playing that game at this level. But again, something doesn't feel right about making a video on 10 coins that I think will do well. All these coins I think will do well. They could all do horrible. I mean, that's just a part of the game. But hopefully you understand, like low market cap, hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe low single millions, doesn't feel right. Especially if you are someone as a beginner, you might just put a few $100 into each of those 10 coins and hope for the best. And we don't do that here, by the way. We like to reduce risk. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm so disappointed on the last one there, but I hope either way, you're able to add some of these prices into some of your coins, okay, or some of your portfolios rather, and look to make some good multiples. I think you're kidding yourself if you think a 10x is too little. I mean, I'm sorry, we've been given a gift from God here. The fact that we get these amazing, much safer coins at these prices. Put it this way, a month and a half ago, you'd be looking at a 10x on some of these coins. Render, you'd be looking at $130. That's literally less than half. We're less than half from that point. $70, $130. Where would you rather sell? ICP was, I think, around $20, $200 versus selling at like $70. NIA was at like $10, close to $10. That's $100. This is $50. What more could you want? Okay, take your blessings and run with it. All the best for 2025, guys. Let me know what portfolio was your favorite down below. Take care. Bye-bye.